This live stream is definitely unplanned. It was definitely sparked by one of the clients that I just worked with. She just landed a VP role, and I was really wanted to talk with her and really see like what was the shift that she believes, right? That allowed her to make this huge win. And so as we were able to talk, I just was like, this is just so good to not share with you guys. And so my name is Alicia Perkins, and I help leaders lead their careers. And so I'm definitely excited to really chat with you guys this morning about just what you need to focus on, right? Because I see so many people facing this huge gap or this huge block in their career, and I see people that are wasting so much time on things that really does not move them more towards their goals. Now, I'll say this, the live stream, it did say to focus on your growth and not goals. But if anybody knows me, you guys know that I do talk about goals a lot. I think you being able to have clear goals is what's going to allow you to really know what are you trying to work towards. But so I'm not saying goals are not important, but what I am saying is what I want you to start to focus on more, because a lot of other people that I tend to attract, or even the clients that I work with, these people are already seasoned, right? They already have a work history, they already have experience. And so, I want you guys to understand that when you are in that place in your career to where you do have experience and you've already brought forth successes and wins and things of that sort, I want you guys to understand that your career advancement goes beyond just some goals. Your advancement in your career really goes beyond just some goals that you guys have written down, right? You are more than your job title, right? You are more than this list of skills. You are more than some goals that you are trying to reach. But I want to bring you back to that place that you can understand and know that you are a whole human being. You are a whole human being. And I do not want you guys to spend the rest of your career or the rest of your life, right, just trying to chase some goals, because you're just so much more than that, right? And so I think it's important for you to remember that, because if you only reduce your career down to some goals that you are in pursuit of, right, you are still in this mind or this mode of feeling like you just got to keep on working to either prove something to the people around you, or even, you having to prove something just to yourself. And I'm not saying that if you want to prove something to you, I think that's a good thing. I think it's good for us to always want to be in competition with nobody except ourselves, meaning that you are wanting to push yourself to grow and just to be better. I think that's good. But I do not think that your whole life or even your whole career needs to be reduced down to just, some goals. Because what tends to happen is that if you only focus on goals, right? If you only say, okay, if I reach X, Y, and Z, then these are the milestones that will allow me to see that I have been able to reach success. And I don't think that's good, because especially us, and I say us because I'm going to include my own self in this, especially us, if you are the one that's always been that backbone, right? If you are the one that people look up to, you are the one that people tend to just flock to if they need help, if they need support. If you are that person, right, the one that you are always wanting to pour in to the people around you, right? And then you add on this weight of, I have to be able to reach X, Y, and Z within X, Y, and Z time frame. You don't understand how much that drains you and how much that sucks out of you. And so I want you to be able to come into a place as you realize, right, that who you are and the things that you do, right, for the friends and the family around you, or even things on your job, you are so much more than that. You are so much more than you just being able to hit these goals on a list. And some of us can start to experience highs, right? Not because our goals mean anything, but because we simply are just able to check off a box on the list that makes us feel like we are successful in something. But in reality, when you look at the goals, you have no kind of tie. You have no kind of, these goals on this list mean nothing. And a lot of times the goals on the list are not even your goals. It's the goals that the people around you or society has taught you that these are the goals that you should have. And so you spend your energy and time trying to pursue things that mean nothing, right? And this is what tends to happen with people that are high achievers, people that are high performers. You will literally find yourself in a race to reach certain milestones that don't mean anything. And what happens is once you reach these things, you don't feel that excitement. You don't feel that fulfillment. You don't feel that high that you thought that you would. And then now you start to fold back in your mind and say, what is it that I did wrong? And so it puts you into this endless cycle of, I just have to reach a goal, and a goal. But what it does is it pushes you more into self-doubt, right? Because you have told yourself that if I reach these goals, then that means that I can reach this surge of success. But when it doesn't feel like that, you'll start to feel like you can't really trust yourself because wait a minute, I didn't really get the fulfillment out of this that I thought. And so you'll almost start to just question your whole decision making as if there's something wrong with you, but there's nothing wrong with you. Nothing. You just had to you just start to lean in on the wrong things. And so that's why I want to talk this morning. And even with my client, that she was able to get such great results, right? Because it wasn't just about getting a VP role. It wasn't just about her, because it's a great opportunity. With this opportunity, she was able to land, right? Amazing role. And also, she earned an extra $47,000, right? In this new role. But she said, Alicia, she said, when I first started, she said it was about that. But she said, as we started to talk and you started to just expose things to me and you allow me to dig more into my goals, now it's not only about me hitting the goal, it's about me being able to push past all of the self-doubt I had. It was about me being able to push past all of the fears, all of the lies, and be able to do something that I did not think that I could do, right? But if she would have only been focused on, I got to reach this goal in order to feel successful. I have to be able to have this job title in order to feel successful. I have to feeling like I got to have this certain pay in order to feel like I'm worth something. The goal would have felt like nothing. But now she is now in her shoes where she can be like, you know what? I was able to push past a point in my life that I felt like I could not get past anything, right? That felt like the success that I wanted was not for me. Do you know how it feels to be able to be in a place that you never thought was possible, where you had to scratch? And when I say scratch, meaning like you had to literally, right, by the grace of God, hold up all of your strength and push past every negative thought that came in your mind. And she was like, Alicia, this is more about me finding a new job. This was more about me being able to see that I can be and have anything that I want. And so in your career, if you stop trying to focus just on what is the next job title for me, right? I want you to think about, what is it that I need to be in expectation of? And what are the parts of me that I cannot take? Because it's the thing. It's easy to see what you need to, add on. Okay, I think I need to get some more skills. I think I need to go back to school. I think it's easy for us to kind of get an idea of what we need to add on. But how many of you guys think about what part of you do you need to leave behind? Because it's not so much of what you need to add on that holds you back. In most cases, and I can say this, right? I've coached hundreds, right? In most cases, it's what you do not want to leave behind that holds you back. And so in the case with my client, what was holding her back was, for one, talk about all the time, the need of feeling like I have to prove myself, the need of feeling like I have to get everybody's buy-in on what I want for my life. Also, she needed to leave behind the feeling of her feeling like she always have to go out and get something else in order to be qualified. And so a lot of it has for her had to move into, hey, it's time to really step up and own, right? Not just what I've done, but it's time to own who I am. And this is what causes so much career confusion. When you are quick to own what you've done, but you're not quick to own who you are. Because, and this is so important. This is how you can find yourself sure in those tough seasons when the successes they don't roll in as they once did, when you may not be seeing results as much as you did in the past, right? But in the tough seasons, when you know who you are, that can be what sustains you through those hard times. And that will keep you from feeling like you always have to hit the next goal in your life to feel like you are accomplished. Why? Because you understand not about these external goals, right? That should not be your first pursuit. Your first pursuit should be, I have accomplished myself, meaning I have been able to overcome the things, right, in me that is holding me back. Because no job title is going to be able to take that away. And this is why I coach the way that I do. This is why I share the content that I share, because people are so caught up in this rat race. And I just had a post on LinkedIn this morning, and that's what really made me. It was the talk with my client, and that had led me to have the post made, and the post made me excited about this live stream. But so many people are caught up in this rat race, and they are missing out on the important things in their life. So many people are so caught up in this rat race in life. You don't halfway have time to spend time with the Lord. You don't have time to spend time with your family. You don't even have time to spend time with yourself, because you're like, the only way that I can be deemed as successful, not just in my eyes, but the people's eyes around me, is if I get these goals hit, right? It has to come to a point in your life that it's just more than that. Right. And this is why I coach. So, and I think it's really important for people to really lean in on and start to really focus on what is it that you've made your career to be. It has to be so much more than just, I have to get that next job. Though, y'all, and let me say this. I help my clients get the next job, right? I help them to thrive in their roles, because again, it's important. I'm not saying that it's not important. It's very, very important, right? But the reason why it is important, that is what's going to allow you to not feel like you have to constantly be in this rat race. And I see the people that will struggle with this the most is the ones that, as they advance, they get really caught up in this thing even the most, right? They are the ones, and this is I find it almost ironic, right? Because our mind should say to us, hey, you know what? The more success that maybe I have experienced in life, right, should allow me to feel more confident. Like that's what our minds say, right? But how many of you guys know that that's not true? And I want to ask this question, right? If you are one that you have some successes, there is some results there, right? But you still feel unsure about yourself, or self-doubt is still there. If you have found yourself in a place like, Alicia, what is the problem, girl? I got degrees, I got successes, I got results, I got accomplishments, but why is it that I'm still plagued by self-doubt sometimes? Why is it that I just cannot get to that point in my career to where I'm just like sure, where I'm just like, right? People struggle with this, but that's just because, one, society. That's why I tell people, get off of these websites, get off of IG, LinkedIn, do whatever you got to do, right, to keep yourself in focus to where you can now understand and believe, right, that your life, it is not made up to be you trying to hit all of these goals and stuff. Those goals are good, but your career, your life needs to be based upon, right? Who is it that you need to be in order to be successful, y'all? But the key thing about that is, what does success mean for you? Not the idea of success that everybody else says that is successful, but have you been able to sit down and to define what does success mean for you, right? Because I've worked with clients and they will be in amazing positions. Like, Alicia, I'm not happy here, right? But they've been in the role for 5, 7, 8 years, 10 years, not happy. And they will literally tell me, Alicia, this is what I was told, right? This was the career path that I was told, right? That was successful. But why is it that I cannot feel or experience the success that people told me that I would have? I said, it's because you never got clear on who you are and you never got clear on what it is that you wanted. I see so many people, I'm not saying, school is bad. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying if you have experience in school and you got this degree, that I'm not saying that is bad whatsoever, but I am saying that I have seen people waste thousands of dollars on a degree that they never wanted in the first place, right? I went to school when I first started out in school, guys. I went to school to be a nurse, y'all. If anybody knows me, I am one of the most queasiest. I am one of the most, when it comes to like smells, when it when it comes to like blood, I just can't. But my mom was like, "Hey, if you go to school for a nurse, you'll always have a job." Why did I go to school to be a nurse? First of all, I didn't even go past year 2. After year 2, I switched over to journalism because I love writing. But anyway, yeah, I was going to school to be a nurse. The same person who cannot do blood smells in me, right? But because my mom said, "Oh, that's a stable job." I thank the Lord. I shook myself up and was like, "Alicia, you can't do this. Do you really want to go to work and be surrounded by like death and stuff?" Like, now, if you're a nurse, hey, that's an amazing job. I'm talking about for me, right? And so there was no, oh, the pay, yeah, right. Because my mom did say, like, if you go to school to be a nurse, you could always find a job. And of course, you are paid well. But I knew that's not what I wanted to do. I just knew it, right? And so after about the first year and a half, I was like, you know what? I cannot do this. But I've always been one, I love, 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 love to write. And so, but anyway, all that to say, right? And even now, me, because after that, I was in HR for over 10 years. And now I own my own full-time business. So even that, I still did not go on to have this big career where I was able to write a whole lot of stuff, even though I am almost done with my book, y'all. Okay, so stay tuned out for that. But anyway, and I say all that to say, right, it's so important to be able to get clear on what you want. It's almost a sad thing because so many people have moved away from them even being able to believe that you can have a job that you enjoy. Like, Alicia, I don't really believe that you can have a job that you enjoy and be paid well. If that is a real belief, I want you to have a 3 drop for me, right? Like, if there's any doubt in your mind, you're like, Alicia, I don't believe that I can find a job that I can enjoy and be paid well. I don't know, right? And it's the thing, sometimes you can have a small hope of it, but do you believe that it's possible for you? Because I found myself in that place before. I was able to believe the best for everybody else except me. I was able to believe that good things could happen to everybody except me. I know I'm not the only one. It was easier to believe that somebody else could reach their goals except me. I felt like everybody else around me deserved their goals or their successes and their accomplishments except me. Like, I trained myself to believe that everything that I want in life had to come through a struggle. I know I'm not the only one. I'll train myself to believe that if I wanted something, one, I was going to have to wait a super long time. I was going to have to work 10 times harder than everybody else. And it was still a doubt in my mind that, yeah, this could probably happen for everybody else, but it's probably not going to happen for me. And if I do land that thing that I want, I'm going to have to work super extra hard. This is what I was taught. And I think, and again, this is not a therapy session, child. If you need a therapist, go to a therapist. I am just sharing to you what the Lord had to show me. But a lot of it does come with how we are raised, right? A lot of it comes from the belief that you have to work hard for everything that you want. Now, I'm getting ready to explain this, right? Because I am not afraid of hard work. You guys know I go hard in everything that I do. But even the term of hard work, right? A lot of us have been taught that what's hard work is not hard work, right? For some people, hard work is being disrespected. Hard work is not being paid the money that they should be being paid. For them, hard work is having to work in toxic environments. And I say that because you have trained yourself that in order to reach these goals, these are the things that I will have to accept first. And then I'm going to finally get the thing that I want. Meaning that, yeah, it's normal to have to work in an environment that I don't really like. And it's a lot of stuff going on around here in this environment. Oh, yeah, I have to go through this first. Like it's almost the mindset that a lot of us has taught when it comes to just being in bad relationships, right? We feel like, oh, if I am in a relationship and this man cheats on me over and over and over again, right? You know, if I stay here with him and endure this trash, then that is what makes our love stronger. People have taught themselves that true love has to involve cheating at one point, y'all on and off or whatever. This is how our love is just tested. Lies, lies, okay, lies. But if you have trained yourself to believe that you have to get everything out of the gutter, right? Meaning that you have to be the one to kind of get all the scraps up, right? And then form the scraps into something that you want. Struggle bus, okay? Now, I'm not saying that there won't be hard seasons, but there's a big difference between you having to accept a hard season rather than you having to accept struggle. My faith and my belief system, I just don't believe that that's true. Like I've had clients when I have clients, right? When I first sign up, right, with them, right, they will tell me, Alicia, I have been trying to advance for the last 5 years. I'm like, why are you just getting help? Because I just thought, there are certain times in your career when there's things that's hard and let's and I actually there was a post about this I made about this like a week or two ago. Let's normalize help, when meaning that if you have to ask for help, let that be something that you do before you get into trouble, right? Let help be a resource and not a escape plan, right? Like start to transfer the belief that you have about yourself and start to believe, right? That you don't always have to struggle with everything. Like you don't always have to bear everything alone. But I know a lot of times this will happen with us, right? You are the one that people tend to just go to, right? You are the resource for everybody else around you except for yourself, right? But I want to be able for you to change your mind this morning and say, hey, everything does not have to be a struggle, right? You don't have to learn everything through mistakes. I don't believe that. Now, will you make mistakes? Absolutely, but you don't have to learn everything through mistakes. This world has been a world for 2020 and 23 years. People have made plenty of mistakes, so you don't have to make the same ones. But it also comes down to you being able to ask for help and understanding you are worth the help. It doesn't take anything from you. But again, this goes back to you being focused on your growth rather than just goals. It's so important to be able to lean into the fact that, hey, I do have a certain goal in mind. But what I also have in mind is that I need to grow as well, because those areas of growth that you keep ignoring, they will continue to show up in every aspect of your life. Every aspect of your life. And what will happen is you will continue to put band-aids on things that you don't want to address. And by band-aids, what I mean is, new jobs. Oh, I don't like it here. And now you're in this race and this pursuit to go find a new job rather than get clear on what's really wrong. Self care days. Oh, let me go soak my feet. The issues that you got going on requires more than a pedicure. Meaning that the things that you need to address, friend, a deep massage, that's not going to cut it, right? And so when you keep putting band-aids on these things, right? What happens when you have a wound and you keep sticking a band-aid, but the reality is that that wound really needs to air out, right? It really needs some kind of cream on it, right? It needs you to focus on it and find out what's wrong. But if you keep sticking a band-aid on it, my friend, it's going to get worse and it's going to get infected. And do you know when you have an infection, what happens? It spreads. And this is what happens when you start to see issues with your friends or at home or whatever, right? It spreads into your career. It spreads everywhere, or vice versa. When you start having issues in your career and you do not deal with them, they'll start to spread. I see it all the time, right? You know that the environment that you are in puts you at a level of stress that is not healthy whatsoever. And you know that. So rather than you be able to make the steps that you need to find an environment that is going to align with the lifestyle, not that you want, but also the lifestyle that you need. You keep making yourself push through it, right? But now what tends to happen is it now affects how you are at home. Trust me, I've been there. Right now, you don't halfway want to talk to your friends, your kids. You don't want to talk to anybody because now you are in survival mode rather than address the real problem. Is you need to find another work environment. But rather than address that, it's just easier to just, oh, let me take some time off. Friend, 1 or 2 PTO days, because it's hard to enjoy time off when you got to go back into the same thing. These things are just band-aids that you use to just pacify yourself rather than heal yourself from these things. And again, not all the time, but in some cases, the reason why work environments are stressful is not because your job is so bad, right? Or the folks at your job just want so much. It's because you have not learned how to say no. So a lot of times you'll find yourself in environments that are stressful, not because people are trying to do you wrong. It's just because you don't know how to set good boundaries. Again, going back to what the issue is the issue here, right? That um these people don't respect me, or is the issue that I don't respect myself? Because it could feel like the same thing, but it's not. Because you cannot get mad at somebody and start feeling like they just taking advantage of you when you have not set the boundaries in place that need to be set. So again, you ask yourself, is it that they don't respect me, or is it because I don't respect myself? And this is the power of being self aware. This is the power of not wanting to just play victim. This is the power of being able to own when you drop the ball, right? And I'm not saying this is the case of everybody, because there are some workspaces to where they will take advantage of you. There are some places to where they will not handle you with the respect that they should. But there are also times, my friend, and I say this with love, it's not them, it's you, right? And it's so much power in being able to own it's me, right? Because now you know that you got the power to change it. Because this is the thing. When you have zoomed in and really begin to identify what's the real gap here now, and in those times when you can fully say, Alicia, it's not me, it's them. Okay, cool. Now you know I can't change them. Now you know I need to put the focus in on what are the next steps that I need to make. But when you also lean in on, you say, girl, it's me, girl, it's me, it's me. Now you got the power to change immediately. But it does take a level of self-awareness, and self-awareness scares people because when you start to be self-aware, it's like looking back in a mirror and you like, child, I now see how I got this far, right? But I also see that I am the reason I got so far. And this is why I only liked working with a certain kind of person. And I've gotten super clear on that. I like to work with the kind of person who wants somebody to be honest with them. If you don't like people being honest with me, I am not the person for you. Just stick with my live stream. Well, you probably ain't gonna like my live streams either. I care more about your growth than your feelings, because when you get to that level of growth, you will come back and thank me. Now, I'm not saying that I'm mean or rude. Absolutely not. But what I am saying is that I will cause you to look at things that maybe you don't want to look at, because it's not, again, it's not just about you being a good employee. It's about you being a better person. And sometimes you need that person in your life to be like, you don't think that you can handle that a little better? You need that person in your life that is not going to help you self sabotage. And this is what happens a lot of times when you don't want to necessarily face those blind spots. You'll find yourself to where you will be in a mode of self-sabotage. You don't realize it. And this is the thing. We understand that change has to happen in almost every area of life. I have a child that's 4. She'll be turning 5 soon. And yeah, when I became a mom, I had to change. Like, not just at the moment when she was here. I'm talking about when I found out that I was having her. I had to change. Right. I've talked about this before. I used to be very selfish. It was all about me, you know. Very, very selfish, right? But literally, as I started feeling this little child grow in my stomach, I started changing, because I understood how I am now. I can't be with this child. I said, I'm going to ruin this child. I won't give this child the love that it needs if it's still all about me, right? And you can almost take this example and use it in any area of your life. But since I am a career coach, we'll use it on that side, right? So when you look at your career and say, you know what? I cannot have the career that I desire to have, right? If I don't change X, Y, and Z. And so even if you're like, well, I'm really not that self aware at the moment. But if there's anything that kind of sticks out to you, you're like, I really feel like I really need to, this could be a problem. This could stop me. Why do you feel like you have not been able to move past it? Is it because you don't really know how to, or is it because you are afraid to move past it? And I really want to talk about that, right? And I want to talk about this because you'll be surprised how, and I've been there. And this is how I can speak in so much like detail. So just know that when I'm sharing this stuff with you, I'm not trying to judge you, friend. I've been there. You'll be surprised how, as you start to see things in your life that you know is holding you back from the things that you want, how it can be such a scary thing to get past it, because you have come to know you as you for so long, meaning that sometimes it can be scary to even imagine what a new you could look like. I've been there, right? You're like, if I change this thing, right? What could that mean? So instance, Tara, she said that she has a hard time just being able to express boundaries, right? Now that could be a fear for her, right? Because she like, girl, if I really start stepping out here, allowing these folks to know the boundaries that I have in place, that could have me, and Tara, this is not just in your career, it's your overall life. That could mean that I could lose friends. That could mean, right, that now puts me more in the spotlight. That now could mean that, you know, as I start to put these things in place, that it could bring me into a place that I am not familiar with. And that can be scary. With that fear of being seen and heard, I really want you to dig into that and ask yourself, what is it about the fear of being seen and heard that is scary? Like, what have you told yourself that if you are seen and heard, what have you told yourself what is going to actually happen? Because that's the root of all of your fears, is because you have told yourself that if this thing happened, then X, Y, and Z, that is going to happen. And in most cases, it's not true at all, because your fears are based upon not what you feel like you can't do. They are based upon what you feel like you can do. And what I mean by that is that fear is on, okay, if this happens, right? If I start to actually be the person that I know that I should be, we understand that that could open up so many doors. But what scares us is us not being able to understand or see what could be behind those doors. Because as you start to grow in those areas, again, it could cause you to lose out on friendships. It can cause you to have to, and this happens because as you grow, you'll start, it's easier to be able to identify what in your life is actually serving you, right? And a lot of times we have these fears and we have these feelings because of the people that is surrounding us. They feel the exact same way, right? And so, right? So if she had a past experience to where she did at least try to set some kind of boundaries in place, and if that experience did not go right, that can make you to believe that, wait a minute, me being able to express the things that I need is not a good thing, because the one time that I tried to do it, it did not go right. But what we got to realize and even think about it in that case is not about it did not go right, right? You got to realize that that is a skill that has to be built up. You being able to advocate for the things that you need, that is not natural, right? And I say that because there are some people that are like, girl, I'm bold, I'm blunt. You're right. And that's why you may not get the things that you need, because you don't know how to ask for the things that you want. Because there are people who are not afraid to ask for the things that they need, but they don't know how to, right? So it's the skill. And so the more that you do the skill, the easier it becomes. But if you have that one past experience or two and it did not go the way that you think that it should have gone, you tell yourself it didn't work rather than tell yourself, I need more practice in this area. It does work. And so it's all about you having to see these areas in your life, these certain areas in your life, such as dimming your light, such as being able to ask for the things that you need, such as being able to take credit for your work. It takes you building up the muscle in that area, and that takes action over and over and over again. But the more you do it, the more confident you will become. Talk about scared. I was sweating, nervous. I'm talking about I had straight bubble guts. Okay. Child, talking about, I say scared, terrified. But I'm the kind of person, if I'm scared of something, and again, I have not always been this way, friend. I trained myself. I'm going to lean more into it. Like, I'm the kind of person, if I'm scared, I'm going all out. Again, I train myself, but I train myself because once I pushed past the fear and saw the results that came from that, I'm like, okay, this fear only lasts a moment. And but now I go live 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a week. And I absolutely love going live now. It is not a scary thing. One, because I know that I'm not on here to perform. I'm on here to serve. And so it's not about me. This isn't a fact of, oh, I'm not afraid of mistakes, right? Because they happen. I'm normal. There's sometimes I don't say all of my words the best. There's sometimes when I may kind of like fall over my words, but I'm normal and I'm here to serve. So the focus is not on me, looking great. The focus is on me helping you. The focus is on me serving you. And so even sometimes in your career, when you feel insecure, when you feel nervous, when you feel, think about, I'm not trying to perform. I'm here to serve with my skills. Right. And so when you live your life in an act of just service, it's not about what you look like. It's about who you can help. I've been through so many years to where, like, and I've really been through a lot of my life. I will not get into this on this live stream because child, that's a whole live stream in itself. But I've been through a lot of things in my life. And so, you can really get used to just suppressing things. And also you can get to a point in your career, in your life, to where, and I talked about this last week. I talked about you being numb, and I started to share how, God really had to, like, because I will always say, oh, I'm just numb. I said it so many times. I didn't think anything was wrong with me saying that. But one day God spoke so clearly. He said, that is not a good thing. Right. And he showed me this example of this diabetic. A lot of times they may lose feeling ankles and their feet. And he began to show me like just because they are numb does not mean damage is not being done there. So even though there isn't any feeling in their legs or their feet, right? A lot of them still have to get their foot cut off because even though they can't feel nothing, damage is being done. And so God said, I want you to stop saying that you're numb because what you are actually saying is I don't want to deal with this and I don't want to confront or have to deal with the emotions that come with this. Blew my whole ever loving mind. Has anybody ever had those moments when you be like, God, that's true, that's true, that's true. Right. And so that's really what it was. I did not want to have to confront and deal with the emotions that came with me having to confront that thing. Right. So God was like, stop saying that you're numb. Right. He tried to show me you have the power to be able to confront and address these things, right? And so, Tara, the reason I said that because whenever you don't feel safe, meaning that whenever you don't feel like you are in a place to where you can, because, and let me say this, even that term of I don't feel safe, what you could really be saying is I don't think that I can actually handle this or that, right? Um, but what has helped me so many times, and I pray that this helps you. I don't live my life where I'm trying to avoid things happening. I have come to believe and to understand that if something happens to me, that I have the power to bounce back from it. Because it was one point in my life where I would try to avoid so many different things, right? Because because me being able to avoid something would allow me to make myself feel safe, right? Like I was trying to have as much control over everything. But thank God for the Lord. Thank God for prayer. He was like, it's not about you trying to avoid things because in y'all, things happen in life. Things will happen in your career that you have absolutely no control over. But the power is in you being able to know that I got the power to bounce back from anything. I have the power to overcome anything. I have the power to get past anything. And that is what I rest more in on. Like I rest more on not that I can fight off everything, but I have the power to be able to bounce back from anything. And so that's what allowed me to take the risk that I need to take in order to see the success that I want. That is what allows me to really be able to lean more into things and to grow because because I do understand that growth comes from me being uncomfortable. But if I try to avoid everything that does not look like it's safe, I'll never grow. Right. And this is why people don't grow because they only want to live a safe life, right? Meaning, if anything looks like it could possibly be hard, if it looked like I could possibly fail, I don't want it. Well, you won't grow then. Because when we're talking about growing, you being able to grow is you being able to do things that you've never done before, right? And so if you can't even see yourself doing things that you've never done before, you won't ever do things that you've never done before. So now it's not on the, oh, I think it would be nice to, make this move. Now it's more on it's a necessity that I make this move because my growth depends on it. And when you start to experience that growth in your life, right? And this is why I always say, when you serve yourself, you can serve the people around you so much better. And I wholeheartedly believe this, right? Because I know the first part can sound very selfish when you say, hey, serve yourself, right? But it's so you can serve better. Because I really believe that when you grow, the people around you will be able to reap off of that so much more. Your spouse, your kids, your family, the folks you work with, because you have put in the work, right, to grow. I want to talk about this on this live stream that don't just focus on the goals. You are so much more than a checklist. You are so much more than a 5-year career plan. Those are good to have. You are so much more than this. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. Okay, so it is workshop time again. I don't know if anybody is on here that's actually been to um on one of my workshops, but it is workshop time. Y'all have another live workshop that is happening on August 30th and the 31st. It is called the Thrive Blueprint. It is meant to take you from surviving to thriving. So if you want to know how to align your values with the career that you want, and if you want to be able to understand what is your value in the job market, right? This is the workshop for you. It's going to be August 30th through the 31st. I opened up the doors this morning. So I love my workshop. So this is going to be August 30th and the 31st. Doors do close on August 29th, I believe. So, but if you sign up this week, my promotion kit for free. Now, in this kit, y'all, it has raised scripts, it has strategies, it has a lot of strategies on how you are able to advance in the role that you have, right? And so this kit is usually like almost $200, but if you sign up this week, is yours free. Okay, so if you want more information on this, you can go to aliciaperkins.live. That is Alicia Perkins.live, and the link is in my bio as well if you want to sign up for this. So seats are limited. Okay, so it is a first come, first serve. So even though those doors do close on the 28th or the 29th, I believe, if they get sold out before then, that's it. If you guys have any information on that, please let me know, but you can go sign up for it now. So remember, if you want to know how to align your values with your career, which will allow you to pursue more fulfilling roles, this is the workshop for you. I'm also, because you guys know, I always say it's so important to know the value that you bring. So if you want to be able to understand the value that you have in the job space that we're in now, and also move from surviving to thriving, this is for you. Okay, so doors are open. I've been here on here almost an hour. I always tell myself, Alicia, 30 minutes, girl. But it never happens. Keep your goals, friend. I'm not saying just to throw away your goals. Now, I do suggest that you go back to your list of goals and see, hey, are these the goals that I really want, or have I been told these are the goals that I should have? Now, that's what I do want you to do, right? But I'm not saying to throw away your goals. What I am saying is to focus on ways that you are able to grow, because how you advance your career is not about overworking yourself. It's by growing yourself. And that was a word. How you advance your career is not by overworking yourself. It's by you being able to grow yourself. I'm so glad you guys feel served. Again, if you do want to work with me one-to-one, let's chat. I love serving. And then if you want to work with me, I do have the Best You membership. Now, this is an amazing way. This is for career management, but also this group allows you to be sure in the moves that you're making. This group is helping you with leadership skills, okay? Because I don't just help my clients find another job or excel in a role. I help them to become a better leader. So if you are looking to boost up them skills, this is the group for you. I love my group. You are able to chat with me one-to-one in this group. We also have Zoom calls as well, and there is a whole vault of content and video training. So it allows you to really be able to like manage your career at your pace. Y'all got these gym, memberships that y'all don't use. I'm telling you, get you one for your career so you can use it and you can grow. It's all about career management. It's about being able to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Okay. If you want more information on the group, go to thebestyou.me. But really, if you go on, y'all are so funny. On my site, that is IamAliciaPerkins.com. Everything is on there. And so again, if you want to work with me one-to-one, let's chat. But if you want to work with me in a group setting, that is going to be the Best You. So if you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and go. Also, what I do want to say is that my main platform is LinkedIn. So if you do want to chat with me in the DMs, hit me up on LinkedIn. And so I believe that you guys don't have any more questions. And so I will probably be back tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. That's what I say. Keep y'all notifications on. But if you guys have any aha moments, anything like that, hit me up in the DMs and let's chat. So if there's nothing else, I will talk with you guys later. Bye.